Say hello to the Furrion, a rabbit-like creature in our upcoming game Osunia. We are making an amigurumi of the Furrion based on a pattern that was found online at Bunnies and Yarn. It's essentially a rabbit keychain. We took pretty much the base of the rabbit from the pattern and we just kind of changed up the colors a little bit. So I went through about 3 different iterations of the Furrion before coming to this final pattern. The first one, I had the ears on the side. It kind of looked like a little Yoda. The next one, I had moved it more towards the top, but it had a pink nose. And then the third version, I had little blue ear tufts, but they looked kind of sloppy. So I ended up settling on this design. I think it looks pretty cute. I like the little blue lines. It matches the concept artwork. I think it gives it a little bit more pop, and while the nose isn't exactly like the concept artwork, I think, we needed to have something that stood out a little bit more. The yarn I used is from Wool-like, which is rated 1, so it is a super fine yarn. The pattern actually calls for a sport weight yarn, which is thicker, so in order to get to that weight, I tripled up the yarn, which works out well because I have a lot of red and gray yarn. And so we're done with the base, and then we move on to the ears. Despite being much smaller, they're actually very time consuming. I messed up once with one of the ears, so I had to start over, which is not uncommon for me, but it actually is pretty time consuming. You have to create it, first of all, and then you have to attach it to the head, which for whatever reason takes me quite a long time. So I went through a few different iterations of the ear. Initially, I wanted it to be pointy up top and then kind of expand outwards. So I tried fewer stitches up top, but that didn't really work out. And then I tried to do different color patterns in there, mostly like having the gray, so it looked like it was gray on the inside and red on the outside, but that didn't really go over that well either, since I can't turn it inside out. So the ears are the wrong side, quote unquote, of the crochet. So I just ended up going with a very simple color change, and I think it turned out pretty well, actually. Even though we started with a base, our first iteration took almost all day to make, just because I was trying to figure out all the color changes and things like that, and then progressively we got a lot faster, which is great. But I think anytime you're doing something like this, just be prepared that it will probably take you a long time in the beginning. And there is a completed Furrion keychain. Please leave a comment below if you like it, and see you next time.